Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Football Free for All. We are covering the Thursday night football game. Woo! Everybody's so excited. Jets, Broncos, 0-3, 0-3. This is a pretty miserable game for fantasy football managers. If you're playing somebody in this game that's not named Melvin Gordon, you're doing it because you don't have a choice. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for value on these rosters. And if you're watching this video, either you're just a devoted fantasy football fan or you need the help. So let's go first to the Jets team. Sam Darnold is a QB 3-ish. He's probably in the back two quarterbacks in the league. With that said, this Broncos defense is very hurt. They should be able to get some pressure on him, but he should have the ability to get a couple of scores. So who is he going to get the ball to? That's the big question. So we've got Braxton Berrios. He had 4 receptions and a score last week. This is his second week in a row of having some major targets. We've got Kalen Ballage, who last week is kind of this converted third down back, catching back. And then you've got Frank Gore. Frank Gore, the timeless wonder. Jamison Crowder should be back for this game. If Jamison Crowder is back, then he is the target monster for this team. He could see over 9 targets in this game because Darnold just has eyes for Crowder. It's just that they have the only positive connection in this entire game. So when we're looking at the Jets running backs, we've got Frank Gore, LaMichael Pirine, and Kalen Ballage. This is a 3-headed monster that all is bad. It is a bad 3-headed monster. None of these players have stepped out and shown that they are going to be the bell cow back. It's going to leave fantasy managers wondering what to do. If you have to start one of these running backs, I think you start LaMichael Pirine just for the upside. In camp, we heard how much the Jets loved this player. Well, he's a rookie. It's hard for rookie running backs to get going behind terrible offensive lines. He could be, running in that what has been Frank Gore's role right up the gut. It's minimal value. We don't know, Adam Gase probably isn't going to be with this team in another week. So you don't get attached to any of these guys in any of these roles. Go over and look at Brian Hill. Check and see if Myles Gaskin is available. I mean, if those players are available, they're 100 out of 100 times better than this 3-headed backfield. The Broncos are also 0-3. Now, they're a little bit different. They've been plagued by injury. Drew Lock out. Cortland Sutton out. Von Miller out. Offensive line decimated. Defensive line decimated. AJ Boye out. I mean, it just keeps on going and going and going. And Philip Lindsay out, though Philip Lindsay could play today. The bright spot on this team is obviously Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon is one of the rare bright spots on this team, but the issue is last week he had 8 carries, 26 yards, averaged 3.2 yards a carry, and no scores. Obviously, this Tampa Bay defense that the Broncos were facing is much tougher than the Jets. So I look for Melvin Gordon to be the bell cow. I think he will have over 20 touches. They're going to have to go a balanced offense. They shouldn't be leading by or either leading by 20 or trailing by 20 in this game. They should be able to stay competitive with the Jets. And if they stay competitive, then we will have some real production on the ground. It's one of those things where I feel comfortable in every league starting Melvin Gordon this week. I also feel comfortable starting Noah Fant. Noah Fant last week had 5 receptions for 46 yards. And he didn't score, but like I said, this Jets defense isn't going to like cause me any trepidations. If he got, that type of reception share against Tampa Bay, he should be able to feast on this Jets defense. Now, the issue is we don't know who's going to be quarterback. I mean, your quarterback really dictates the value of all these players. The positive thing is when you've got an inexperienced quarterback, they're going to generally lean on the run and then quick dump out options, maybe one or two shots downfield to the tight end. It really absolutely decimates the value of the wide receiving core. Now, if Philip Lindsay plays, I would anticipate a very low ceiling on this. He's coming off an ankle injury. They're not going to just let him loose. And if he has 7 to 10 touches, I'll be surprised. I think that's about his cap. And so, he could fall backwards into the end zone and have value. But it's really, his value is capped. So be careful there. Now, when we're making our estimate on this score, this game, the Broncos have more skill on both sides of the ball, even as injured as they are. They should be able to put this away, but the over-under is 40 points. This should be well on the under. If it gets above 40 points, we're looking at a garbage fire, and one of the coaches is getting fired. It doesn't matter which one. It's just an absolute disaster if it gets above 40 points. So I wish you best of luck this fantasy football week, and thanks for watching Fantasy Football Free For All.